You know that feeling? You walk into a hotel room and it's an immediate scavenger hunt for an outlet. Why is it so hard sometimes? Well, it turns out it's not random at all. There's actually a hidden code at play, a whole set of rules that dictates exactly where every single plug goes. Today, we're going to decode the secrets of hotel and dorm room outlets. And trust me, it's way more interesting than you think.
Right? You drop your bags, and what's the first thing on your mind? Where can I charge my phone? Sometimes it's right there, easy peasy, next to the bed. Other times, you're on your hands and knees, peeking behind a desk. But this whole setup, it's not just about convenience. It's a really carefully designed system, balancing safety, the room's design, and yeah, our desperate need to stay charged. So what's the deal? Why do these places have their own special electrical rulebook?
Okay, so let's put ourselves in the designer's shoes for a second. They have absolutely no idea who you are or how you're going to use that room. Are you going to work at the desk? Are you going to watch TV from bed? They have to plan for literally everything, all while dealing with this massive, heavy furniture that isn't going anywhere. That's the big challenge here, creating a space that's safe and actually works for thousands and thousands of different people year after year.
And this is where our hero comes in, the National Electrical Code, or the NEC for short. Think of it as the ultimate rulebook for electrical safety here in the US, and it has super specific, detailed guidelines just for these kinds of unique spaces. It's the whole reason you can plug in your phone or your laptop and not have to worry about what's going on behind the walls. All right, let's dive into the specifics. The rule we're really focusing on today is NEC 210.60. Now, this is the section that gets right into the nitty-gritty of outlets in guest rooms, suites, and dorms. And believe it or not, it's full of some pretty fascinating details.
Yeah, NEC 210.60 sounds super technical, kind of dry, right? But it's literally the reason your hotel stay is safe and convenient. This one rule tackles all those challenges we talked about, the big furniture, not knowing what guests will do, and it basically creates a blueprint for how to wire these rooms the right way.
So, the very first thing the code does is ask a really important question. Is this just a room for sleeping, or does it have a kitchen? Because if there are permanent cooking facilities in there, oh man, the rules get way, way stricter. All of a sudden, that room has to follow the exact same tough electrical codes as a regular home kitchen. It's a simple split, but has huge implications for safety.
Okay, so for your standard hotel or dorm room, how does the code actually solve this whole placement puzzle? This is where it gets really clever. The NEC strikes this perfect balance between making sure you have enough outlets while also accepting the reality that the big furniture, well, it's not going anywhere. It really boils down to three main ideas. First, the room has to have a certain total number of outlets, kind of like a regular house. Second, it gives designers the flexibility to be smart and put them in convenient spots, behind the desk or the TV where they'll actually get used. But it's that third principle, that's the one that's the real game changer.
And that brings us to the magic number. It's 2. This is the absolute non-negotiable rule. I don't care how clever the design is or how many outlets are hidden behind furniture. There have to be at least 2 that are totally open and easy to get to. This is the rule that saves you from having to crawl under the desk just to charge your phone.
And there it is, right from the code itself. At least 2 receptacle outlets shall be readily accessible. That one simple sentence is huge. It's basically the guest's guarantee of convenience. A small detail for sure, but it makes all the difference when you're traveling.
Okay, now let's zoom in on one of the most common and frankly one of the most dangerous spots in a hotel room, the area right behind the bed. Yep, the NEC has a special rule just for this spot because if you get this wrong, the consequences can be really serious. So here's the problem. You've got this super heavy bed frame, right? And it gets pushed hard up against the wall. What happens is it can slowly crush the plug and the cord that are stuck back there. Over time, that pressure damages the wires, which can lead to overheating, and that's a major fire hazard. It's a silent kind of danger, which is why the NEC has a rule specifically to stop it from happening.
So, the code gives designers 2 ways out of this. Option 1 is pretty simple. Just put the outlet somewhere the bed can't touch it. Move it off to the side or maybe a little higher up the wall. Option 2 is a bit more clever. You can use a special recessed outlet or some kind of protective guard that physically creates a safe little bubble between the plug and the bed frame. Either way you do it, the goal is the same. Stop that dangerous pressure.
All right, so how does this all come together in the real world? Let's wrap this up with a quick compliance checklist. We can break the whole thing down into 5 simple steps.
Okay, here's your 5-step check. First up, step 1. Figure out if there's cooking stuff in there, because that tells you which set of rules to use. Step 2. Make sure you've got the total number of outlets required by code. Step 3.
Plan the outlet locations so they work with the furniture layout. Step 4, and this is the big one. Double check that at least 2 of those outlets are super easy to get to. And finally, step 5. For any outlet that ends up behind a bed, you got to deal with that safety rule, either by placement or with a guard. See? It's a really clear, logical process that makes sure every room is both safe and convenient.
And when you boil it all down, that's really what NEC 210.60 is all about. Creating a space that works for you, but most importantly, keeps you safe. It's the reason we can all travel or live in a dorm with some peace of mind, knowing that the wiring was designed with safety as the #1 priority. So the next time you walk into a hotel room, I want you to take a second and just look around at the outlets. You're not going to see just a random mess of plugs anymore. You're going to see a system, a hidden language of safety and convenience. And now, you know the code behind it all. So the real question is, will you ever look at a hotel outlet the same way again?